in the night. Getting faded was my lifeline. I realized that I've always struggled with change, but sometimes you gotta rearrange before you go insane. I've been doing my best to stay true to myself, put my next foot forward and smoking dope for my health. I never give up the music till I'm rolling in wealth. Some days I swear this basement's my own personal hell. Well, I love the sound of the city. Goddamn, I love the sound of the city. Yeah, yeah. I'm wide awake when you're with me. I feel better when you got my back. Yeah. Red eyes, I'm sky high. I think this might be the best night that I've ever had, that I've ever spent with you. I confess I'm obsessed with the sex. Heart palpitations every time that she texts. I admit that we ain't always been the best for each other, but what is love without the little test? Girl, you know you're my sneaky link. When I'm with you, my ego shrink. I'm just craving time for us alone. I think about you every time I'm home smoking dope. I love the sound of the city. Goddamn, I love the sound of the city. Yeah, yeah. I'm wide awake when you're with me. I feel better when you got my back. Yeah. Red eyes, I'm sky high. I think this might be the best night that I've ever had, that I've ever spent with you.
Okay, sorry about that. I forgot I rerouted my audio settings on my computer. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I'm going to start off the stream with something, kind of like announcement. Some of you guys will benefit, some of you won't. Promise it's not a shill, but first things first. What's up, yes, sir? What's up, Raphael? What's up, Tata? Sorry, I could, like, there's something that blocks my other screen. Like, it says sign into chat, so I can't see the names. What is up? I think that's Eros? Ekis, sorry. The top's blocked as well. Thanks for joining, guys. I know it's kind of the holiday break. I still wanted to stream just to kind of give an update. For me, not sick anymore. Still coughing a little bit, but feeling great. My voice is back. Really happy with that. So I wanted to start this stream off because I know a lot of people watch when it's not live, and I also started a little late today. I was at the gun range. So I'm getting a lot of DMs, requests, asks about, is it a good time to buy? And my answer, and this isn't to be rude, this isn't to be, and I'll explain why. No, it's a terrible time to buy. You missed it. You missed the bottom. You missed the accumulation period. It was over 500 days. And I'm saying this because the risk reward isn't there. Maybe on a couple different altcoins, like maybe, like you have something like Digibyte, maybe it's okay to buy. But again, these are coins that they could go nowhere. I've always said that a lot of these altcoins will probably go nowhere in the future. So you could make that argument, hey, this thing has hardly moved. Bitcoin's hardly moved, excuse me, sorry, I just looked down at my phone. Bitcoin's moved up 3x, but some of these other coins have hardly moved. Crow's hardly moved. So you could make that argument that some of those are okay to buy, and I would say yes, but the only problem is that they could go nowhere and they could never break all-time highs again, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, some of these larger cap coins that people know about. Sorry, I just need to send this real quick. Girlfriend's calling me. Okay. So, again, sorry, I lost my thought. The reason I'm saying that is because these larger cap coins have bottomed. It's obvious. We're past that inflection point. Even if we were to do something like this, which is likely. This is a very, very likely scenario. And I want people to be aware that we're not just going to do this, right? We're likely going to do some kind of ranging over the next couple months, guys. We're up, 3x, almost 200%. Pretty crazy, right? SPX, I mean, we'll start off with SPX as we always do, but guys, we're less than 1% from all-time highs. I mean, I just don't know how you can argue that we're going to make lower lows. Now, in the future, a couple years from now, we could see a larger correction, but there's too much sideline capital. There's $6 trillion of sideline capital, and it's going to be put somewhere. It's going to be put somewhere, whether it's in crypto or stocks or both. And again, I likely think both. So, and just kind of another point I wanted to bring up. Sorry, I brought my other screen a little closer so I can read. Hold on one second. I got to fix something. The risk reward isn't there, right? If we look at Bitcoin, and I want to also separate this, guys. I'm talking about spot buying, dollar cost average, longer term holdings. I'm not talking about trading. Trading is much different from just buying and holding, right? The risk reward isn't there. When we were down at 15, even if you started at 22 to 25K, right? Even if you started here, you were down 70%. Right now we're down, what is this, 37%, and we're 200% off the bottom, right? You had 500 days to buy in here, right? You could have even bought all the way to 32K. You could have bought this whole box, and you would have been fine, right? Because you would have averaged about 24K right in the middle. You'd be good. You'd be really, really solid. You'd be up almost 2x right now. Everything's good for you. If you start a dollar cost average now, and the best case scenario for you is we just go up, right? And you just continue buying the whole way up. But again, you're not getting the greatest gains from that. But let me give you an alternative scenario. What if we just did this? What if we did that, right? And you started buying here. Not as now, depending on your time frame, in my opinion, it's not worth it, right? You're better off waiting for getting back in the 20s. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen. I really don't think we break below 30K the rest of the year. But that's just my thing, right? We do risk management. We're a risk savvy. We have good risk metrics. And for those of you asking now, where were you when I was public? And, there were several people in my Discord that were very, very public that we were buying in this box. Where were you then? Why weren't you buying then? And the excuse is always, oh, I didn't know it was the bottom. Well, neither did we. But if you do a cost-benefit analysis, right, we're down almost 80%, right? You're never going to buy at the dollar bottom, but we were down close to 80%. If you go in through Bitcoin's history and you say, okay, where have these market bottoms been in the past? They're around 80 to 85%. So cost-benefit analysis, guys, it was there the whole time. Right, you could have started buying even at 20K. You're still looking at a 70. What is this? About a 70? Yeah, about a 70K. Bitcoin's never really broken below prior all-time highs, so you could have started there thinking that was the bottom, and that would have been fine too. You could have bought all the way down to 15K and then all the way back up to maybe 25 or 30K. Again, another look, guys. Link. You're looking at a 500-day period, right? What is this? That's a weekly 78. I'm not going to do that. You're looking at a 530-day period to accumulate. If you were to accumulate every, once a week, every week, your average is probably somewhere in the $7 area. You're really good. Your risk management's there. Even if Link does, something like this, you're still looking fine. You're still looking good. Everything's good for you. Everything's managed well. Like risk is managed well. Even if we dipped back in the range, you're still looking good. Everything's fine. But dollar cost averaging now after, you're looking at a 2 or 3x. It's just not worth it to me. And again, my point is I was very public on when I started buying, on what I was buying, when I ended that. And, I'm not saying that I'm the most right person in the world, but the signs and signals were there. Guys, everyone was bullish at 69K and everyone was extremely bearish at 17 to 15K. So it's kind of on you. And again, I've always said the only person you can rely on in the trading world is yourself. I can't be the one that hits the buy button for you. You have to do it yourself. With your knowledge, I got from minus 75% to minus 30. It's pretty good. I remember your tweets of 17K. Yeah. Yeah, and I've retweeted those several times, just and along the way, so that people see them. They're not just left in the dark. Everyone knows what's happening. Isn't that a conflicting statement? $6 trillion on the sideline, and it will go into stocks and crypto. Wouldn't that mean a lot of money would go into crypto and alts? Yes, but as for a dollar cost average, it is a terrible time to start buying. I mean, depending on your time frame, and we're talking if you're playing the bear market to bull market. Right? If you're buying in the bear market, selling in the bull market, it's not a good time to buy for you. Right? The cost benefit analysis isn't there because, guys, at the end of the day, nobody knows what's going to happen. Right? Just because I'm up here on my microphone saying, hey, and by the way, there are $6 trillion sideline. That's not just some made up fact. But what if they just don't go anywhere? What if they just disappear? What if they go back into mutual funds and what is that? What's the word I'm looking for? The government bonds, right? What if they just go back into that, right? What if the economy collapses? What if we get nuked by Russia, right? Then none of this matters and the value is going to go down. So my point is, no one knows what's going to happen. There's a million, possibilities on this chart. But my biggest fear is, what if this is the local top and what if we put in another bottom, right? I think it's highly unlikely. I think that, a lot of people are looking at the COVID situation. That was a black swan event and we recovered fairly quickly. But what if we get something like that and you threw all your ammo up here and in the middle here and you didn't get a chance to scoop up near the bottom or near that second bottom, right? That's kind of my point is nobody knows what's going to happen. And I think a lot of people think that this is going to happen. And now that they need to buy, now that they've seen a ton of green candles and they haven't seen the pain that's in here. I mean, what if we do this? Right? Then you're just buying the top and you're losing out once again. That's kind of where I'm leading towards. And I'm really happy to see a lot of you took advantage of that, but those of you that are messaging me on Twitter, messaging me on Discord, and I don't have a problem with you guys messaging me. I don't want you to think that I do, but my answer is going to remain the same. It is not a good time to buy. You missed the bottom. And that's not to be mean. That's just me trying to protect you. Because at this point, I have no idea if we're going to come back down. Maybe we come back down to 28, 30K, dance around, and then send upwards, right? We did it here. We had a black swan event, right? No one knew it. COVID was coming. We had a black swan event. If we didn't have COVID, we probably would have likely done this instead of dipping all the way back down. So as much as I want to say, like, yeah, go ahead and DCA, what kind of asshole am I if we drop, right? Knowing that I'm bought much lower and a lot of us bought a lot lower. I'm not here for engagement and to make friends. I'm here to be honest and truthful to you guys. So no money in alt, Solana Link 80. No. What I mean is, no matter what you're looking at buying, it's likely that you're just in too much of an awkward place to buy. Not touching anything until I see a 20 to 30% correction. What if we don't get one? Right? You can't just say, like, and that's another thing. You can't just say, I'm not going to do anything unless this happens. Well, people weren't going to buy until 12K was touched. And look at them now. They missed out on a huge rally. And again, like, I think your name is Nalbandian. Sorry if I botched that. You're saying I'm probably not going to add more until a 20 to 30% correction. What if that doesn't happen? Right? Like, what if we never get that? What if we never? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, there's no guarantees in any marketplace. People thought we were going to hit 3,200 on the SPX. People thought we were going to hit 10 to 12K Bitcoin. We never did, right? All those people were left in the dust pretty quickly. So again, it's the argument is nobody knows what's going to happen, and you need to look at the chart and evaluate, hey, am I comfortable? And if you're comfortable with this, if you're comfortable saying, hey, if Bitcoin drops from 43,000 all the way to 26 or all the way to 15, whatever it drops to, are you comfortable holding that? and having that unrealized loss, or is that going to stress you out and you're going to be, making terrible decisions based off that? That's kind of where I'm leading. If you're comfortable with that, if you're saying, hey, I don't care if we have a correction, I'm just going to lock it away and not look at it for a year or two, or if, price ever goes up, then hey, all the power to you, go ahead. But in my opinion, I'm not buying here. I'm not buying spot. The only thing I'm really looking at buying at all is Tau, and it's a very minuscule amount. I said I was going to buy one a week. I'm actually waiting for, and I'm kind of working backwards. I'm actually waiting for this. I'm waiting for us to make that lower low, RSI to make a higher low. And that's kind of where I'll look to buy probably my last position in Tau. But guys, a lot of my Tau buys were in here. Excuse me, not in there. They were in the 120s, 130s, and I bought a little bit more at 200, right? So again, it's tricky, but I'm in a decent spot. If we go back down to 150, then so be it. Then I'll buy there. But all my other buys are fine. I have nothing to worry about as of right now. But all right, let's do a little bit of what we always do. Talk real quick, and then I'll take anybody's questions at the end. So, one thing I also wanted to address, a lot of people are asking about the private daily analysis. I'm going to make a tweet on December 30th. I'll have an announcement in Discord when it opens. I'm also probably going to take one of them and just post it on YouTube. That way you can see what it is. What's talked about, what's discussed. Again, it's a little bit trickier because if there's a tradable opportunity, right? If we're looking at a potential trade setup, then we're going to talk about that and dive into it and talk about all the indicators and all the possibilities and all the risk management and so forth. If there's not, then that section's not going to be there. It'll be replaced with, something else, like learning something like how does volatility build, and how to read an order book, or so on and so forth. It'll be like little bits and pieces of that every day. Some days it'll just be market analysis, right? It'll just be kind of what we do on stream, but a little bit more in depth. And again, I will be taking chart requests from those individuals. But okay, SPX, guys, we're less than a percentage point from all-time highs. I don't really have a lot to say here. We could bull flag, could pull back some, so don't be too scared if we do. It doesn't mean recession's coming. I'd really like to see us break out. NASDAQ, new all-time highs, baby. New all-time highs this week. Huge. Love to see it. Not really much to touch up on here, right? I would like to see this, something like this where we retest this as prior resistance, new support. But other than that, Dow Jones, new all-time high as well, right? The large market correction is over, and we're back into a bull market for both the NASDAQ and the Dow. We hit recession level average pullback. Kind of a weird recession, I know, but it was there. It happened. Now we're just waiting for SPX. I'd like to see a bull flag into a large move upwards. A couple things we talked. I think we talked last week about this. There's a couple of questions in the air, right? Like, how high does this go until we have another pullback? Will we get some kind of financial, depression, recession, whatever you want to call it? And I'm doing more research on this, but it seems like a 6,000, maybe 72, 78, somewhere in this area. Like, best case scenario would be 8K, worst case scenario would be 6K. But basically moving up, and then, your larger or much larger financial kind of, situation happens, something like 2008. Because we do have a lot of debt. We have a lot of, inflation sucks. We have interest rates. I still have an argument that they're not actually that bad, but we did see business slow down. So I'm wondering if that already played out, or if we're going to see a continuation of the prior bull run, and then we'll have our last kind of, this would be the last hurrah, and then we have that recession, depression, whatever you want to call it. So doing more research on that, so I'm not going to touch up on it too much, but moving on. The XY really need 100 to break. We see 100 break, and again, more confirmation that we're in a bull market. This is following in line with SPX, guys. Remember, what is this, 2021, 2022? We had that parabolic move upwards. Now we're seeing that downtrend. Would really like to see this break 100 and go all the way to 89. Again, that would kind of line up with that theory that maybe the SPX is, topping out its bull run, or basically this is an extension of the bull run, and then we'll have that much larger, much more chaotic financial recession or depression. Looking at total, it looks like we're trying to break out. Not a breakout yet, but getting closer. If we break out this week, alts are going to fly, right? Tether, breakdown. Really like seeing this. So far, again, we need the weekly to close. I have a hard time with this right now because I know volume's very, very low this week because a lot of institutions are, a lot of people are out of the office or taking a break this week, taking vacation. So I'd like to see another week outside, even if we close this week. Again, very low volume, but looking good so far. Again, Tether dominance going down means crypto goes up. Bitcoin, gonna look at the daily. This is a bull flag, right? We talked about this last week, and I believe the week before that we were likely going to range before continuing higher. Again, the argument there is Bollinger Bands, right? Last week, start of the week, lots of space here. Look at this tightening now. I'd like to see volume pick up if we break 44.5, and if we do, again, you have a confirmed breakout, and we're likely going to continue this higher. How high, I am unsure. But in my opinion, I'd like to see this range more. The longer the range, the more buildup and volatility, the higher the move, right? So I would like to see more ranging because, again, bigger move, more gains. I think it would be an easier move to trade. Volume's pretty flat, so I'm not really expecting much. Again, be aware that a deviated high could happen if your volume is still flat. So looking at volume and just giving you guys a little quick hint on volume. Someone asked me this last live stream. If you see 45.5 break and it's almost daily close and volume is at this kind of average level here, let's say the candle goes up to here, let's say we break out, it's likely a fake out. Do not long that. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Yeah, so again, nice little bounce, but ultimately, guys, we're just ranging. We have an established support and established resistance. I'm going to get rid of all this. So we have our resistance here, support here at about 40.5, resistance at 44.5, and again, another bigger support at 38K actually. Again, would really like to see this kind of range more before we head upwards. So, it's not a perfect drawing. I don't really do the whole like Fibonacci and Elliott wave deal, but would really like to see this range more between the support and resistance. And maybe we get a deviated high. Again, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we consolidated further. What are my thoughts on gamer coins? So I think gaming and AI will put in the largest gains in the next bull run. But I don't really have I haven't really done any research on gaming coins, personally. ETF will be sell the news just like the merge. That could be. Could be. What's my New Year's plan? My New Year's plan, so my girlfriend's Puerto Rican. They do, they throw like a huge party. A bunch of them come into town at her parents' house. So we'll go over there for New Year's Eve. And then New Year's Day, I'm going to watch all the football games. My brother goes to Alabama, so he's pretty hyped to play Michigan. I'm an Ohio State fan. So didn't go to Ohio State, but an Ohio State fan because I'm originally from Ohio. But yeah, gonna watch all those games and just kind of like do whatever. Probably smoke cigars and drink alcohol. I mean, there's really nothing much to it other than watching football. All right, guys. I'm probably gonna cut it there. Actually, I want to talk about Bitcoin dominance. I did want to look at this briefly. So, Bitcoin dominance is holding support. So this is where I'm saying like Bitcoin ranging isn't a horrible thing, and as long as this holds support, Bitcoin's going to continue that move higher. What I would like to see is this head and shoulders form. I would like this to bounce. Like this is a textbook head and shoulders. We have a lower right side shoulder length that goes almost through support. Again, people thinking that, or really acting as deviation. I would like to see this turn back up to 54% and really round off that right-hand shoulder. That's where you'll get your alt setups, right? And then the huge alt moves will come when this support level is lost. If we just lose this level, kind of tough, right? Didn't really get into a lot of alt setups, but I still have faith that this is going to put in a head and shoulders. I mean, it's a textbook head and shoulders setup. If you guys look up head and shoulders on Google Images, you're going to have that lower right-hand side just to show you guys an example of a really textbook head and shoulders. If you look at Bitcoin back in March through May, or I guess the beginning of May, you have this really textbook head and shoulders, right? You have this neckline. I guess you could say the neckline is really kind of up here, right? But you have that deviation that happens, and then a pump back up to make that right-hand shoulder. So you have your right hand, your left hand, and then your head, right? Break down below, retest, and then continuation. A lot of people didn't realize that we dropped because there is a reversal pattern on the chart. Whatever, they blamed it on Elon Musk. Again, whatever. But you're seeing that again on Bitcoin dominance. Very, very identical. Yes, these patterns work and play out. People saying that the head and shoulders won't play out. I don't know what to tell you. So would really like to see this hit that 54% again. Again, Bitcoin would probably get a move to maybe 48 to 50K. And then we'll see altcoins absolutely have their time. Ethereum probably will have its time as well. So keep an eye on that. Oh, excuse me. Just a disaster. All right, guys. I'm going to end it there. I'm hungry. I apologize for starting the stream a little late. A last note. I did settle. I think I said last live stream that I was having trouble with Bitget. We did settle that, and we figured out. We did figure everything out, so we'll continue my partnership with them. That's all I got. I will see you guys on Friday, planning on live streaming unless something crazy happens. But with all that said, guys, be patient.